Hey, it's TDA, and today I have another demo to share with you that took me by surprise. Lightyear Frontier is a game that is scheduled for release in just a few weeks, and this demo is so polished and long that I actually forgot I wasn't playing the actual game. As you will see in a moment, the game looks pretty much exactly like it does on the title screen over here. You will be building a little farmstead. Now, there isn't too much automation going on, it's mostly about base building and exploration, and it is blissfully zen. There is no enemies trying to kill you, but there is plenty of exploring to do and progress to be made. Anyway, let's watch the nice intro screen and get playing. So you know, like pretty much every other base building / automating game out there. And of course we're going to crash. I can't count how many times I've started one of these games crashing into a planet. But anyway, it works. I mean, it's a pretty good explanation why you're completely starting over with nothing. I like the animations going on there. And look, we're in the middle of a forest-ish kind of thing. And we're supposed to find our Mech, which is over there, so we can sprint. And just look at this world. It looks very lush, it's very well done. It's kind of cartoony, but without being too cartoony, if that makes sense. Oh, hello. Yeah, I'm really digging the whole vibe that this game has going on. Now, we're playing in first-person mode initially, but once we get to our Mech, you can actually switch to third-person mode as well if that's what you prefer, so it's completely up to you. It works both ways. And we should get some voiceovers getting in here soon as well. Look, we can play Minecraft and cut our way through rocks, but as you can see, this is not the most efficient way of doing this, so...
Finally, I'm getting through. That was quite the tumble you took there. Luckily, your biometrics tell me you're A-OK. But before anything else, let's put that mech of yours back in one piece.
Okay, so that's apparently the... Remember that camera that we saw flying by once we crashed on the planet? I think that's the camera over there talking. Now, we can actually use this little tool we have to have things flying around. This is the engine, and we can launch it at our Mech to repair it. And we will do the same thing with the arm. Assuming I'm not bad at
now
hitting it.
That sucker sunny side up and hop in. We've got a planet to explore.
I'm loving the accent, by the way. There we go, and we can get in. Look at those little animations. It's just details, and of course this is an almost finished game, so it's a good thing that all these details are in here. But it's just really well made. Okay, so we have some parts to find, which are going to be at these signals over here. So there's 1, 2, 3. Where's the other one? Oh, behind us over there. And that's basically going to allow us to pimp our ride.
Excuse my manners. One kind of stops expecting guests after 200 years. Name's PIP-3R. That's Piper for short. Up there in the sky. That blinking dot is yours truly. But enough introductions. Let's get you situated and make you at home.
So we are going to collect some stuff, and as you can see, the whole environment looks really nice. We do actually already have one piece of machinery. It's a bit easier to show you if I do it like this. So we have this drill, which cuts through things like trees a lot more efficiently than the pickaxe that we were doing with before. We can collect some stuff, we can make some new recipes based on what we just found. And then over here in the chest we'll get a new tool. And we just plug that on. And now we can actually shoot little sprouts and we can plant our own trees. So we can do a whole terraforming type of thing.
It never ceases to amaze. That magnificent Mech. Those high-powered tools. And even that ship of yours. The Farm Mech project really was extraordinary. Such a shame that it got cancelled in the end.
So you can shift between the different tools that you have, and there's some other things that you can collect. So there's all kinds of different materials. As you can see, we just got some aluminum, we have some wood already. There's things on the floor as well, but we can't actually pick that up, at least not in an easy way without an unknown tool. So that's, I'm guessing, no, I know so because I did this before, the vacuum harvester. I actually forgot what it was called. So yeah. Let me go pick up some other materials. Here we are at the second box, and this one has, look, it's the vacuum. And this will allow us to vacuum up some water, so we can actually water our plants. We can also vacuum up these seeds, which is going to be very useful for replanting stuff. And again, we need to be able to shift between things. Oh, the other way around, because there's some more aluminum here. And I happen to know that this is a fairly rare resource.
So quick to give up on the Farm Mech project, sending us probes out to the edge of the galaxy to scan for hospitable planets. That was no small feat. Desperate times, I suppose.
So the idea is that we're going to find ourselves a nice little location to settle down in, and we're going to build a little farmstead. And I'm not sure why I keep using the word little, but it's also cute. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, this is not for you if you like a more like realistic, rough game where you're all about turning the planet into one big machine. This is kind of the other way around. We're actually trying to restore parts of this planet, and make it look as nice and cozy and pretty as we can make it. So this is a seed shooter, which is going to be used to shoot the seeds, obviously, and those are these things that we have on the floor over here. Now, shifting between your different equipment takes a little while.
The Lightyear Frontier for Mars does make some sense. It was a lot closer and would sustain Earth's population, at least for a while.
So we're going to get some quests basically, and if you check out the map, you can see that there's different areas on the map. Again, this is just a demo, so I have no idea whether or not this is the entire map or just parts of it. But as you can see, we have the meadows already unlocked. We can see what resources are on there. So you can see, for example, the aluminum that we just picked up. Now, Pine Heights is the area we're in now, which we don't really have much information on. But you can see that we still have to restore it. So right now there's some stuff on the floor, some noxious fumes and things like that we need to clear up. There's also things to discover, so we have artifacts and treasures to find. There's actually treasures in the meadows as well. And you can see in the meadows that we have nests we can feed. So if we feed the animals, the resources in this area will actually replenish overnight. So the aluminum, for example, that I harvested will not return back, will not regrow unless we take care of the area basically and the animals that live within it. So speaking about the cleanup that we need to do, that's this noxious slime on the floor over here, which of course turns this whole area into kind of a bleak looking, well, area. But now we will get the, what is it called? The irrigation water hose, and we just vacuumed up some water, and we can use that water to basically clear out these areas. As you can see, it goes pretty quick, doesn't take too much time. We're already at 7, 10%, 13%. Of course, we will run out of water, which isn't really a problem considering we have water nearby. So now we've collected all our tools. I think it's a nice position to kind of set up our little base here in the middle. We have a future pond over here. You can see the water kind of sprouting out. We'll need some upgrades to unlock it, and it's quite close to the noxious area where we will be, well, doing some progress. So let's see. We will need to find ourselves a place to sleep, and I think we can probably sleep in a small tent. So let's build that. And this is a very small tent. Remember, I am in a large freaking mech, so we're not going to be sleeping in that. Is this a good location? I guess it is. It's as good as any. So you can actually place it down even if you don't have the resources yet, which I think is a really nice feature. You can just add the resources. And look, now we have a tent, so we can actually leave our mech
to the legs, huh?
and dive straight into our tent. Press sleep, and then we'll progress to the next day. Now you could just see that there was players 1 of 1 going to sleep. You can actually play this game in multiplayer as well. I think up to
Nothing
4
like
people.
A good night's rest. Those new mech parts made a world of difference. The best looking ride in the Frontier for sure.
So there's a very nice thing going on here. So I think we actually need to be in the mech in order to check that out. So we have a coziness measure over here. And if we make our little homestead here as cozy as we can, we actually get buffs, and this will help us basically get more resources. And as we increase our living space, so right now we have a 10, but we'll be able to build bigger buildings later on, you get more and more of these buffs, basically making sure that you can progress through the game faster and faster. You don't need to keep collecting all those basic resources by hand all the time. The way to increase the coziness is by building little things that are just mostly there to be cute, but let's say, for example, we build a little fire right in front of our tent to keep ourselves warm. If you now check the tent, you can see we filled the meter partially. Now, pretty much anything that you build in terms of decoration, like wood fences, stone fences, and you'll be getting more and more of this kind of stuff. All of that counts towards coziness, so it's actually pretty easy to make things very nice and cozy. Of course, we also have some ways to produce items. So, for example, we can make oil. We have a shed where we can put our stuff in, so it's more efficient to produce things. We have assemblers, and so on and so on. So right now, what I want to do is actually progress a little bit so that we can start automating some of our harvesting by making a small plot. We can use that in order to make plants. Now, we will be getting some water close by pretty quickly, so we might as well place it there. We are now in snap mode. No, we are in free mode, so we can actually build it like this.
Make things easier.
Yep, it will definitely make things easier. There we go. Because it's raining, these mounds are actually already watered, so usually you would have to do that by yourself. And now we can use some of the seeds we gather to just shoot them in. And again, normally you would have to water them, but right now, because of the rain, that's automatically happening. And if we come back tomorrow, we'll find polyberries waiting for us to be harvested right here. Okay, so let's see. The game is also telling us to build a shed, which I believe is over here, yeah. And this is quite a bit larger than anything we've built so far. I think it makes sense to maybe build a shed like something over here maybe. And that way we can put some machines in there, like for example an oil presser, in order to make some oil. If we put it in the shed, it will actually get a buff. It will start producing more and more stuff. Now, in order to build all of this, I'm going to need more wood. I need more stone. And more wood. So let me go collect that and see how this looks. Now, if you gather too many resources, you will no longer be able to jump or sprint, so that is a thing to take into account. However, you can still carry around whatever you need, so we should have enough, I think, now to build everything, and then some, so we can probably also focus on building some storage. So let's say we put a tiny little storage box over there, and then complete it. So we can put any seeds we found in there, and some plant matter as well, probably. Now I'm actually going to take the plant matter out again, because I think, yeah, that's what we're going to need in order to make some plant oil. Now you can just queue these up, it will spit it out, and keep working on making some oil while we are doing other stuff. So let's put that in there. I'll keep the stone and wood on me, maybe just temporarily. Oh, what we could actually do is make... I'm still over encumbered actually. So let's make another storage box and put that, well, maybe not right next to the fire. Like, let's put it next to our base over here. And then just put all the other building materials in there. There's actually a maximum weight capacity on this as well. So I will just keep this in our inventory for the moment. We're also being told to build an upgrade depot, and well, that is exactly what it sounds like. This is the way we upgrade our mech. Now, why can't I build it here? Is that just because there's these little plants in the way? So I cleared it out, and yes, now I can actually build stuff here. So let's see, where is our base? Let's put it a little bit out of the way, because this is very industrial and we don't want to be too corporate about this. Because we want a nice little cozy home, remember? There we go. Now, we can actually step on this. There we go. and see what we need in order to start upgrading our little mech. And again, I keep saying little, not sure why. So we can upgrade pretty much all our farming equipment. So we can upgrade our shooter, so we actually can hit 9 mounts at the same time. We can make sure that we can fire more water at the same time as well. Increase our tank. We can basically upgrade everything that we're doing. So, for example, we can upgrade the spike saw power, allowing it to break stronger metals, and we only need some aluminum rods in order to do that. So I went back to our inventory, our little storage unit, and picked up some more aluminum, and now we have an increased power blade. In order to do the next upgrade, we're going to need some rubbish oil, some power cores. I have no idea how we're going to get those as of the moment, but let's jump back in and test out our new improved spike, because I think we should be able to break this little thing over here. I really should stop saying little. Oh, that's so cute. There we go. We now have a small, not little, a small pond over here, which is really convenient because in case we actually need to water this, it won't stop raining, so right now this is watering itself. But in case we need to water it, there's some water right nearby. Now we also need to craft some oil, which we already did. It's in the back here for some reason, I'm not entirely sure why that is. It's a little inconvenient, honestly. Can we flip these things around somehow? I actually don't know. Let's see. Can I? Whoa, no, that worked, but that was not what I wanted to do. But we have some oil now, and that means that we've basically done all the progression that we can based on our quests. We are now told to go and restore Pine Heights, so let's clear out some noxious slime. If you're wondering why we're taking the effort to clear all of this out, other than the game telling us to do so, you can see all these deposits over here, like aluminum. I think there's some coal over here as well somewhere. This won't actually spawn unless we clear this area out. So again, it's mostly about restoring nature, feeding the creatures, and then nature paying us back for our efforts as well. If you play throughout the night, like I have been doing so far, the game will still force you to the next day.
Well, this fine morning. I can't stop admiring those nice decorations you built yesterday.
Why, thank you.
Really got an eye for that kind of thing.
And the reason the game forces you to the next day is this is the moment in time where the things would actually restore themselves. The resources, the plants grow, etc., etc. So it's time is a thing in this game. And we now restored the entire region.
Accepted on the trick. The ecosystem in this region is adjusting itself lickety-split. In all my years, I've never seen anything like it. I sent countless reports to Earth, telling them this was it. A new home for humanity. There just might be hope for this planet yet.
So what we will see happening now is that this whole area will look a little bit more lush and green.
My scanners weren't lying. There really is someone out here in this corner of the frontier. The name's Dolores, but my friends call me Lola. And I'm your friendly neighborhood merchant. I'll add that dock of yours to my trading route. Catch me there if you need anything.
Okay then. As I was about to say, more lush and green, but also there will be creatures there. So we can actually feed them to start recovering our resources. So these things house creatures. You can see stalktails will be living here. So they will start showing up tomorrow. We'll see more resources growing and things like that. In the meanwhile, we also triggered the next quest, which is the merchant dock. That will allow Dolores, as you just heard, or Lola, to land at our base, and we'll be able to sell her things and basically sell her expensive things, buy cheaper things back, and by doing so make sure that we don't have to manually get all our resources. We can just buy and sell based on what we have and what we want. In order to actually build that merchant landing, we're going to need some aluminum and stone, which we have, but you also need red crystal, which we haven't found yet. And this is the key to progressing through this game, because this will actually be spawning in the region that we just cleaned up. It's not there yet again, that will happen tomorrow. The game will actually show you that it does, but this is how you get access to more and more complex materials. In the meanwhile, I'll look at our polyberries being all nice and grown so we can harvest them. That's actually pretty easy to do like this. Just swoop all over them, collect all of them like this, and then we can actually use our pea shooter that we have over here to replant them. And again, because it's still raining for some reason, we can harvest them again tomorrow. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, we actually need some of this stuff to feed the animals around, so we get more and more resources to spawn. Now, let me queue up some plant oil, but we also want to queue up some polyberry oil, which we can do so now because we actually have the polyberry. So we have a little bit of a manufacturing site going on here, where we are gathering the plant fiber and polyberries from our farm over here, putting them into these machines and get some oil in return. Well, I upgraded our homestead a little bit, so we can now actually do our laundry. Don't ask me why, it's just things you can build. I built this little very crooked looking fence that now also has some plant beds in there. I'm not entirely sure if I'm supposed to plant anything in here. I don't think I can, but hopefully there will be some plants growing in here pretty soon. But the main importance, at least from an optimizing perspective, is that we now have the keen eye buff. So actually anytime we find resources in the wild now, there's a chance we'll get some free resources on top, which of course is always going to be very useful. In order to feed the animals, we're going to need to actually craft some food, and that's where the fodder oven comes into play. Now I'm actually going to put that in a shed, so we get some bonus production out of that as well. Hopefully, yeah, you can see increased efficiency. This construct has a chance to produce duplicates while crafting. That's always really nice. And this is where we can use our plant oil along with some plant fiber in order to make some basic food. So let's just craft whatever we can at the moment. Let's confirm that. Should just pop out straight away. There we go. And now if we go find a creature, I'm over encumbered, so I can't run. But look, oh, it's already sleeping, but we can feed him. He's eating. He's also giving me some stuff as a result. Now,
Let's get to work.
the problem with the controls, and that's just a minor complaint I have, is that a lot of things are tied to E, the button E. And as you can see, if you press it too long, you will eject yourself from your mech, which hopefully is something you can rebind in the actual game, because this is getting old really, really fast. Now I actually have to feed a couple of them. And as you can see, we now have 1 out of 3 nests fed, which will give us a little bit of a bonus because we fed some of the creatures here. Some more resources will actually spawn compared to the situation where if we wouldn't have done that. It's also worth noting, by the way, that you can easily find your mech because there's always a pointer to it. So even if you dismount for a moment, and you will have to do that to explore some caves and things like that, like I'll show you in a moment, you will always be able to find your mech, and you will always be able to find any homestead you build because it will show on not just the map, but also on your compass. So as you can see, we can actually see the map of the Pine Heights now as well. There's this whole city area over here that we'll get to in a moment, but first, let's go to sleep and see our hard work pay off. Now, as you can see, we fed some nests, and that meant that we get some extra resources restored in this region. And we cleaned this up. So that means that we will actually get resources here now. For example, aluminum that you can see over there that wasn't there before. And red crystal, because that's the thing that we will need in order to unlock the merchant. Now it's also worth noting that we are on the 3rd day, and this door has a type of countdown going on. What's up with that? Only one way to find out. Now, other than just planting seeds, remember we can also plant some trees, so let's make some of those show up here as well. Now you can actually shift between the different sprouts that we have available to us that we picked up. So we have another type of tree over here. Let's place that down and make a little forest around our tent so we can, well, hopefully farm some wood out of that. Now I did actually clear out a lot of the trees around here, and they seem to be regrowing as well, so you don't have to worry too much about running out of resources anytime soon. And at the beginning of every day, you probably want to just start out with harvesting some of the stuff that you planted the day before, replanting them. As you can see, it's actually, for a change, it's not raining. So what we now need to do is plant these things back. And again, you can upgrade this later on, so you don't have to do this manually. At least you can do it quicker next time around. But we need to plant this, water it. For those of you that played farm simulators type of games before, you will be familiar with what this looks like and kind of going through the motions. It's very zen. It just comes back every day. You don't necessarily need to do it every day, by the way. There's no rush in this game whatsoever. There's plenty of resources coming out if you set it up like this. And, well, just going through the motions a little bit in order to get some stuff going. Why can't I make plant oil? I don't have plant fiber. Do I have some stockpile of that? No, I do not. I do, however, have some more trees. So I could actually go and plant myself an entire forest. Now, I'm not worried about those. Let's see. There's a limit on how quickly we can do this, apparently. You can't just turn this into an Uzi type of gun and... Oh, this is a very big tree, apparently. There we go. So we should hopefully see a forest popping up here really quickly. We do need to water these things, I believe. You can kind of see the splash effect notifying us that we did in fact water these sprouts. You only have to do these once, I believe. You don't have to do it more often. I think with some of the crops that we'll unlock later on, you might have to water them multiple times, as they might grow over multiple days. But for now, I think we're golden. Now, let's say you're trying to build something new and you can't remember exactly what you want to do. You can actually create a mission out of this. So you can say, hey, I just made a crafting machine, do you want to track this? And then you can kind of track what you still need in order to progress. So for example, now I can see I need 3 red crystals. I do know that I already have stone and aluminum. It's not in my inventory, so that's why it's not counting. But all I need to do is now explore this new region that we unlocked. Can you see how much more green and lush it is compared to what it was before? Oh, there we go. There's the crystals that we need, and we should be able to now pick these up. We need 3 of them, so there's more than enough over here. Seems to be about 2 per node. You could just see the proc that happened from the buff that we had because of the upgrades to our homestead. So we actually picked up, I think it was 6 from that single node over there. Let's just bring some additional rock as well while we're at it. And then all we need is some more aluminum. Oh, I can't actually pick that up. For some reason that log that's down there is a lot more sturdy than anything else. There's also different types of wood, by the way, so let's see, this green tree, that's going to give us normal wood. But if we go to the pine tree, maybe that will give us something else. Yep, this will give us soft wood, and there's probably also going to be hardwood and things like that. Let's see, this is still a pine tree. Not entirely sure if this will give us something else, probably not. No, more softwood. But you get the gist, so you may need to make sure that you harvest whatever you find and make sure that you get all types of different materials. And again, you can check the map to see if you have discovered everything. So we know that there's at least 2 more resources in this area that we haven't discovered yet. There's actually 1 more in the meadows as well. And then there's going to be plenty more, because remember, there's a lot more zones to come. For example, there seems to be a new type of flower here on the floor now. And look! Those are the rabbage seeds that we were looking for before. At least we are going to need the rabbage oil for some of the upgrades, and we now found that. So that's really nice. Now let's check out this region as well. There is a door here that we can't quite open, so we can't get through it. There was some dialogue when you first entered this area as well. That wasn't too interesting. However, as you can see, we are now in the ancient ruins where we are supposed to find some artifacts. And those artifacts are these shiny things on the floor here. So we can cut these. It will reveal some technology. Nice. We can pick that up. And that's 1 down, 9 more to go. Now, some of these artifacts will be in locations that you can't quite get to with your mech. So you can just get out. Hopefully mine them like this. There we go. Pick them up. Anything else here? Not really. But as you can see, you will need to get out of your mech every now and then to do some real exploring. So once you find all the artifacts, of course, we get a little reward for that.
I figured out what this place was used for.
And that means that we just unlocked a new thing to construct, which in this case is a strange table. Anyway, all of that allows us now to build a merchant landing. So again, probably some space issues, but let's place that pretty close to where we are right now. And let's see, add all the stuff to it. There we go. And we all have to wait now for the merchant to arrive, which probably isn't going to happen at night. So let's jump out of our mech like this. Really like the flashlight as well, by the way. And let's go to sleep. Day 5.
Rise and shine, Farmer. The decorating you did yesterday really lit up the place. It's really beginning to feel like a home.
Look, our little forest is starting to slowly grow. It'll take a while for those trees to grow to their full size, but we're getting there. Starting to look like an actual farm now. And if you go through the building menu, you can see there's tons more stuff to build. For example, we have an assembler, which we can probably place as a machine right next to the thing we have over here. You can see the line actually marks that it will get the buff from the shed. We need plant oil. Do we have some plant oil over here? Yeah. It's a little annoying that the thing is behind there. We only need 15 seconds to make some more plant oil, so we should be able to craft that then. What else do we have? We built everything over here. We can make some more plots if we want to grow some more plants, for example. We have a storage box, but we also have the upgraded version of that, which is a crate, which actually we actually do have the softwood for that. Not sure if it's an upgraded. It's only 60 still. That has it's a different way to kind of make sure you don't have the same storage boxes littering all over the place, I suppose. What else do we have? We can't actually build a larger home just yet. We can build... Hello? What's that? Oh, look! Look! Someone landed with their spaceship. But I was looking at stuff we could build. Sorry, getting distracted here. The table, in which we can build until we get some noxious spores. Not entirely sure how we get those just yet. Oh, look, we can make some new fences as well. We have the campfire already. Also, we've built most of the things we can build for the moment. But let's see, we can also go shopping.
I have just the thing you need.
Okay, so what this allows us to do is buy stuff. So, for example, some new upgrades for our arms, our legs, a carved stone. This is all kinds of stuff we can build. Some of the things will be on discount, as you can see. We also can sell stuff. So, for example, we can sell all our oil, which is actually really, really expensive. Not entirely sure why that is, but I'll take it.
Take that off your hands.
And with that $500 that we just got, we can actually buy a couple of things for our mech. Why not? And just in case you were wondering if you would only be building tiny buildings, well, no, you can also build larger barns as you unlock more and more complicated materials. And this will give you a lot of space to put in more machines. I don't know, maybe we'll be able to keep some animals at some point. I'm not entirely sure, actually. But yeah, you get the point. This is a very nice, relaxed game where you can just fool around a little bit, farm a little bit, make things look really nice and tidy and cozy. Honestly, I suck at that. I'll admit, I'm not the best at designing nice little cozy camping sites. I am better at making nice looking, organized looking factories. But for those of you that are better at this than I am, this is definitely something you can play around with as well. It doesn't really have a function other than giving you buffs, so I do appreciate that. Even for optimizers like myself, there is a reason to actually make a nice looking, cozy little camping spot, because you actually get buffs from that, and of course those are very much worthwhile. You can farm stuff to make sure you make a lot of money. There is a lot of different things you can do, and again, this is just me exploring 2 zones. There's a lot of other zones going on that you can explore for yourself. I actually am not entirely sure how far this demo goes, because I decided, well, this is actually so nice and neat. I'm probably going to play the full game anyway, so might as well save that for myself until later. So I hope you enjoyed this little preview of Lightyear Frontier, and let me know in the comments whether or not you want to see more of this game in later videos. For now, if you're still here, you're awesome, and I do hope to catch you in the next one.